Hello everyone, thought I'd give you a very rare look at my visage and my surroundings. I'm wrapped up a little bit today just to keep the cold out rather than put the heating on. It's not that I can't afford it, it's just I'm too miserly to do so. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different and very unprofessional, unprofessionally presented and so on. I'm going to point the camera at my laptop screen, so excuse me a moment just while I turn the camera around. Now, at the moment I'm logged into a website that I only discovered yesterday. I was listening to the PM program on Radio 4 with Evan Davis, and they're featuring various articles on the subject of artificial intelligence at the moment, and this one really intrigued me. And as you probably know, I've got a bit of a bee in my bonnet about technology and AI. It's not that I'm a Luddite or anything like that. I just think there are a lot of dangers in the way technology is developing and the way the not the websites, the internet is going and so on. And as I've expressed in the past, I do have this really strong impression that a lot of activity on YouTube is the background to it is artificial intelligence. There isn't actually a human agency behind some of the subscribers that I have on my channel and that you will have on yours if you produce content, even down to the interactions that we all have with various comments and so on our channels. Sometimes I'm sure there isn't a human being behind it. Why would that be the case? Why? Well, there's lots of reasons. The more activity there is on YouTube, the more revenue is generated through advertising. So it's in people's interests just to stoke the fire, as it were, of activity on YouTube. And as long as the platform itself and the advertisers can't tell that the views are from artificial intelligence, then they're never going to be able to question that view and say no, it was not actually going to generate any sales for my product that I'm advertising or anything like that, and question it. And there's a more sort of sinister aspect to it as well, in that the more bogus accounts and so on there are out there, the more possibility it is for people to present themselves, or for more nefarious agents to present themselves as genuine personalities and so on, and interfere with all kinds of topics on especially on things like Twitter and Facebook, and generally to sort of muddy the waters, to agitate, to cause dissent and confusion and so on. So there's a lot of reasons why it would happen, and it's even going to happen without there being any motivation whatsoever behind it. It's going to happen simply because it's possible for it to happen. So I don't want to go on, I don't want to go on about that too much. That's not the subject of this video. The subject of this video is to show you this particular piece of artificial intelligence, and I am struggling at the moment with technology. My laptop is at the point of packing up entirely. I had difficulty turning it on this morning, and I could sort of capture this demonstration rather than point the video camera at the screen of my laptop, but I've got a video capture card now, so I reckon I could work out how to do it, except that it taxes the processing abilities of my laptop to the point where after about 10 or 15 minutes it will go into thermal shutdown anyway, so I wouldn't be able to do it using this laptop. And really the professional kind of presentation of the video isn't the point of the video, so hope you'll forgive me for that. And the other thing that's prompted this, again, which is kind of on the subject of technology kind of replacing the real world, is that for the first time in many years this weekend I returned to my local wargaming club. Now I stopped going about 5 years ago. Had a lot of kind of issues with certain club members and just thought, oh, I want to walk away from this. And then COVID came along, and they stopped having meetings anyway. And when lockdown ended, it was about the time that I was thinking, oh, I'll start going back. You know, those people that I clashed with, you know, our personalities clashed, aren't attending so regularly. You know, so it's safe to go back. And unfortunately, the location where they held their meetings, they had moved out of during lockdown, and they've decided not to go back now. So they are permanently established now in a social club which is way out in the outskirts of Plymouth, and it's totally impractical for me to get there. There is a sort of very limited, I don't drive, but there is a very limited bus route, but they meet on Sundays, and the buses are less frequent on a Sunday anyway, and it's not practical. I tend to walk around town anyway, and I could walk to it. It's about an hour and a quarter's walk, but that would mean I'd have to lug all my miniatures and terrain and so on with me, and it's not a particularly pleasant walk. It goes across a lot of busy roads and so on, and yeah, the whole thing isn't really practical for me now. But a friend of mine, he's been trying to persuade me to play around, you know, one another's houses and so on, but I think in doing that it kind of drags you away from you know, it stops war games clubs from prospering if all the members are simply not going to bother to go to the club, and instead are going to meet in little groups in one another's houses. You know, it means the end of wargaming clubs. So anyway, he sort of has taken my point, and he sort of went over to the War Games Club the previous week, and then said, this Sunday, did I fancy a lift over there? So yeah, I took him up on the opportunity, and we went over there with another wargaming colleague as well, and I think we're going to try and start going back to it now. It does, you know, I am dependent on a lift and so on, so I can't commit myself entirely. But the point about all this preamble is that they are struggling really now with membership. They don't get enough people through the door on a Sunday afternoon to meet the cost of the hall, of hiring the hall that they meet in, and they're going to be able to jog along for quite a while because they make a little bit of money out of the annual show that they run and so on. So they'll probably be able to break even, but they're struggling a little bit with membership. But if you look on, they've got a website. It's never particularly well maintained or updated or anything, but they have got a very, very busy kind of Facebook presence, and it belies the fact that hardly anyone goes to their meetings now. I mean, there are hundreds of Facebook members and lots of activity going on Facebook, and you would think from that the local wargaming club was jogging along quite nicely, where in fact the opposite is the case. And that is my point, really, is that I'm sure most of those people that I'm not saying that those people that contribute to the Facebook activity are artificial intelligence agents, but they're certainly not bothered whatsoever about turning up at the club. They're just using the platform as a way of chatting and arranging their own private games in their homes and so on. So they don't even have to pay a membership fee to belong to the club, or to pay a weekly sort of subscription to attend the hall. So it's kind of working against, although Facebook is, I'm not a Facebook member, I don't subscribe to it or anything. So although Facebook is a good kind of way of announcing events and all that kind of thing and keeping the cohesion of the club going, at the same time it's kind of corroding the club. Yeah, so anyway, I'll skip to the chase and give you a little demo of this website and the software that I heard about only yesterday, because it all relates to my kind of concerns about the world is changing. I'm not opposed to technology or anything like that, but the world is changing kind of imperceptibly, and it's dragging people along with it without them kind of, I think, really appreciating the effect that it's having on their perception of reality. And that goes for trivial things like wargaming, but equally it can enter our lives on more serious fields like politics, or I don't know, religion or whatever. So I am going to have an online chat on a wargaming subject with an artificial intelligence program. I am not talking to a real human being. I'm not talking even to a database. It's not something like Wikipedia or something like that where I could look up a historical topic and get information on it. This artificial intelligence is going to correspond with me. It's going to interact with me in a way that I can predict will be very difficult to identify as being not a human being, as being artificial intelligence. So what should we start with? You can ask this thing to do all kinds of tasks, but I'm going to ask it to I don't know, let's ask it about something like a set of rules. So recently I apologise to the boots on the table with Dom if he thought I was coming across a little bit strong, but I really am not a fan of sharp practice, and I think I may have come across with. I wasn't criticising his video at all or anything like that. I just find the use of the rules problematic, shall we say. So let's start off with a little chat on the subject of sharp practice. So let's ask it, what are the Wargames rules sharp practice? Question mark. And this is all in real time. I'm filming this now, so I click the button to submit that question, and it's going to come up with an answer, hopefully very soon, that you'll be able to see on the screen there. Here we go. Right. So it's so it's actually outlining the rules. It's not telling me that there are a set of Wargames rules. It's telling me the fundamentals of how how you play the game, which is quite incredible, really. And how long did that take? About 15-20 seconds. So I don't know whether you want me to read the whole lot out to you, but it tells you about the setup, the sequence of play. So the sequence of play: at the start of each turn, each player rolls a dice to determine initiative. Player with the highest result goes first. Play then alternates between the two players. During a move, they can move their forces. During a turn, they can move their forces, shoot, close combat, and rally. I notice there's no mention of the cards here anyway. In fact, I'm wondering, you see, this is where you might be able to detect that this is artificial intelligence, because it says each player should select a force of between 8 and 12 stands to use in the game. So it's kind of bluffing me. It's kind of bluffing me. But that's, at first glance, it's not easy to detect that is that is all bluff. So if I was chatting to this online and responding to a comment on, not that I allow comments on my videos at the moment, but something like that, I would have a little bit of difficulty telling them to sod off because they're not real. I don't like to be impolite to people who do comment on my channel, so I would probably answer in a very bland way. Right, let's ask it about a historical subject. So compare Napoleon to Wellington. Who was the better general? Submit. I should be timing this really to see how long it comes up with an answer, but it's not that long. I've got my watch close by, so there you go. That probably took about 15 seconds. This is a highly contested debate, and it is ultimately up to the individual, or up to individual opinion as to who was the better general. Napoleon is often credited for his ability to quickly organise and execute military tactics, while Wellington is praised for his strategic prowess and ability to lead large armies. Both men were extremely successful in their campaigns and have become two of the most renowned generals in history. So that is a neutral, because it's asking me something that's borders on the subjective rather than the objective. They haven't given scores or anything like that, and rated the two generals objectively, so the answer has remained kind of neutral, and and tried to be non-committive, as it were. But what you can do is you can kind of force the program into expressing an opinion. So you could phrase your question, explain why Napoleon was a better general than Wellington. And now it's going to be kind of forced to praise Napoleon and put Wellington down a little bit, hopefully. As long as I haven't given it any kind of get out. Here we go. Napoleon was a better general than Wellington because he was a master strategist and tactician. He was able to see the larger strategic picture and plan ahead, while Wellington was more focused on the tactical level. Napoleon was also able to make quick decisions and take decisive action. He was also able to motivate his troops better than Wellington, and his ability to lead his troops to victory in many battles was unmatched. Furthermore, Napoleon was able to make use of a variety of strategies and tactics, while Wellington was more limited to a traditional approach. Finally, Napoleon had a better understanding of the psychological aspect of warfare, which allowed him to manipulate his enemies into making mistakes. Now that, if I read that as a comment on a chat on something like the Napoleonic Wargaming YouTube channel, I just wouldn't be able to tell that hadn't been written by artificial intelligence. That to me would read like it was someone who was an advocate of Napoleon and so on, Napoleon fanboy, and I just wouldn't be able to tell. So there you've got the beginnings of, if I wanted to create a personality, a bogus account, get that account to start interacting with other YouTube channels and so on, I'm off and running. And it hasn't taken me any research, hasn't taken me any effort. The software produced that in 15-20 seconds. I just think this is the potential for this to cause so much kind of damage is the wrong word, isn't it? It's just distorting the real world, and you could quite happily never leave your front door, and believe you were interacting with the real world. And in fact, I could be the last survivor of an apocalypse, and I wouldn't know, if all this kept running, I wouldn't know that I was the only person left on the earth. Anyway, you can have fun with it. You can have a bit of fun with it. It's kind of not up to date in terms of, if you asked it to talk about anything that happened in the last year or two, it probably wouldn't know what you were talking about. But I'll show you something else. I asked it this question yesterday when I was playing around with it, thinking about whether I should make this video or not. Compare sharp practice to muskets and tomahawks. So notice I'm not I'm not telling it that those are two sets of Wargames rules. Let's see if it can work it out. But it knows immediately. Sharp practice is a skirmish level miniatures game that is set during the Napoleonic Wars. Well, it's got that slightly wrong. And focuses on the actions of small units of troops. The game is designed to be fast-paced and exciting, with a focus on tactical decisions, morale and combat. It uses a simple set of rules that are easy to learn, and a unique card-based activation system to determine the order of play. So there you are. It's introduced the feature of card-based activations there. Muskets and Tomahawks is a skirmish-level miniatures game set during the French and Indian War. The game focuses on small unit tactics and features a unique card-based activation system. The rules are much more complex than those of sharp practice, and the game takes longer to play. The focus of Muskets and Tomahawks is on grand tactical decisions and the larger strategic objectives of the war. The game also features a unique morale system which simulates the psychological aspects of combat. You see, it's been a long time since I played either of those two sets of rules, but that's got me convinced. and if I didn't know anything about either of those two sets of rules, that's quite a useful, little bit of knowledge that I've gleaned without having to ask anyone real. You can use this for all kinds of things. Play around with it. It's called Open AI, and the thing that they were talking about on the PM program yesterday was something called Chat GPT. But in order to go into Chat GPT, you have to have an OpenAI account, which is really easy to set up. It's not a fee or anything like that. And I find OpenAI's playground is a lot more expansive and so on. Chat GPT, if you ask it certain questions, it will tell you it's just kind of word-based interaction, and it can't express opinions or anything like that. Right. Yeah, and that's the other thing, that it is actually learning from my. It's learning. Every interaction you have with this program, it will learn. So if I kind of question something, it will rephrase it, or learn to answer in a different way, and then it stores that in its memory, in its intelligent memory, and knows how to respond to someone else coming at it, on another occasion. Right, some small talk about wargaming. Oh, I need to submit that. Here we go. Hi there, are you into wargaming? It's a great way to challenge yourself and explore different strategies. What type of wargaming do you do? Oh, right, okay, so let's see if it will interact with me. I do, I'm going to say I don't do a lot of Napoleonic wargaming. It's a little, let's see if it will correspond with me. Oh. Wargaming wrong in my haste, in my excitement. I do Napoleonic wargaming. It's a lot of fun, and there's so much history to explore. Have you ever tried it? Oh, it's kind of added. It's kind of added on. So it's kind of it's talking at me rather. It's not recognizing that I do Napoleonic wargaming. It thinks that I'm prompting it to say that it does Napoleonic wargaming. Right, now you can't get it to be offensive in any way. It's kind of moderated in that respect, but you can get it to be, as you can see, you can weight it, so you can get it to be negative, and critical. So write a critical comment about, let's pick a YouTube channel. So no offense, I'm going to pick a very popular war games channel. Storm of Steel, and see if I can get it to be critical, derogatory about the channel. Doesn't deserve this criticism whatsoever, but I'm just trying to give you examples of how you can just get it to. Storm of Steel's YouTube channel is good for those who enjoy watching gun-related content. So I've got a feeling that it's not identified the Storm of Steel wargaming channel. Maybe they're over in the US or something. There's a Storm of Steel However, it's important to note the channel is not suitable for all viewers as it features graphic and violent content which may be considered inappropriate for younger viewers. Additionally, the videos on the channel may not be suitable for those who are sensitive to loud noises or strong language. So either it's invented this fictitious channel, Storm of Steel, because it doesn't recognise the one that we all know, and it's bluffing me, or there is another channel. So let's try and. So I'm going to put Storm of Steel. See if I can get it to is a UK based wargaming YouTube channel. Write a critical comment about Storm Steel's YouTube channel. Right, so now we'll submit that. See if right, Storm. So this is complete, bluff again, because it didn't know this 30 seconds ago, but now it's telling me Storm of Steel's YouTube channel provides an interesting and informative look into the world of wargaming, but there is a lack of depth in the videos. The content is often. Oh, I'm sorry, Alex. This is not real. Remember, this is not real. The content is often shallow, with only basic information about a game presented, and does not do justice to the complexity of wargaming. Additionally, the videos are often long and lack structure. Sorry, I'm spitting on the laptop now. The content is often shallow, with only basic information about a game presented. Does not do justice to the complexity of wargaming. Additionally, the videos are often long and lack structure and make the channel difficult to follow and understand. Well, that's not the case whatsoever. Let's change the subject before I lose Alex some of his subscribers. But you can see how you just wouldn't know. You just wouldn't know that had been written by a computer. And another thing that's happening now is that I can't remember what they described it. All these things like Alexa, all these home help voice activated things now that speak in a very robotic tone. They're slowly being tweaked now so that the voice sounds a lot more human. So combine that with this kind of artificial intelligence, inventing this kind of correspondence with you. Get a realistic voice to say that, what I've just read out to you, and you're there really, aren't you? You're living in a completely unreal world, where you just can't trust anything to be. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do now. I'll get it to do the opposite, just as a final example, and then I'll switch off because this has gone on for a long time now. So I'm going to get it to write a positive comment about Storm of Steel's YouTube channel. I'm going to put wargaming in as well, because I wonder if it does recognise. Oh no, let's see if it has picked up on the fact that Storm of Steel is a wargaming channel. So I'll just get it to write a positive comment and see if it mentions wargaming. And hopefully this will appease Alex if he's watching this. Storm of Steel's YouTube channel is an amazing source of information on a variety of topics. It offers valuable insights into a wide range of topics from history to current events, and provides viewers with an in-depth look at how the world works. The videos are well researched and thoroughly presented, making them incredibly interesting and informative. Highly recommended for anyone looking for an interesting and educational resource. Well, it's been a little bit too generic there, so I'm going to put in Wargaming and see if it'd be a little bit more specific. Stormistill's Wargaming YouTube channel is a great way to learn about the history and tactics of wargaming. The channel is full of informative videos that provide a great introduction to the hobby and its various strategies. The videos are expertly edited and the commentary is always clear and concise. It is a great resource for anyone looking to get into the hobby or brush up on their knowledge. Yeah, so again, you know, it's not really homing in on the the real aspects of the Stormstill channel, but you know, it's a very kind of non-committal kind of positive statement that. So again, you could. I'm just going to persist with this a little bit longer, just to. So I'm really going to weight the question, you know, so that it knows Alec is a World War One. Buff. I will stop in a minute. The trouble is, once you get into this, you can't put it down. There's just so much you can get it to do. So I've now written, write a positive comment about Storm of Steel's Wargaming YouTube channel with reference to the expertise on World War One topics. So if this is good and Storm of Steel is watching, I know he recently subscribed to my channel, so maybe that he can use this as a glowing testimony to the quality of his YouTube channel. So I've got it say, write a positive comment about Storm of Steel's Wargaming YouTube channel with reference to the expertise on World War One topics. Storm of Steel's Wargaming YouTube channel is a great resource for anyone interested in learning more about World War One. The videos are incredibly informative and cover a wide range of topics, from military tactics to historical accounts of the conflict. The hosts, so it's still, you know, caught it out there. Well, I suppose if you include Tiny, then it has got hosts. Have a deep knowledge and expertise on the subject, making them an invaluable source for any World War One enthusiast. Yeah, there you go. Right. Now, I know I said I'm going to stop, but you can catch it out here by now asking it, what are the names of the hosts of the Storm of Steel Wargaming channel? It's not going to know this, so I wonder how it's going to get round the question. This is good good training for a politician. The hosts of the it's complete BS. The hosts of the Storm of Steel Wargaming channel are Alan, Rich and Ben. So it's made it up. So found you out, artificial intelligence. So let's see what it's oh, actually, I don't know if it's Alec or Alex. think it's Alec. Again, apologies if I got this wrong. So I've told it the real names now. Alec and Tiny. Right, now, so it knows, it's now learnt. So if I now no longer tell it that, will it remember that for the future? No, it doesn't. So it's got no learning capacity there. It's now telling me the hosts of the Storm of Steel Wargaming channel are Ryan, Mike and Steve. So there we are. It has got its limitations and you can catch it out, but at the same time, just in terms of day-to-day interaction, you know, very hard to you know, not to be able to tell that that isn't a real person. So when you're having all these conversations, you know, with helplines and, you know, online banking and helplines for whatever you're doing, you know, very often, you know, you might think there's a real person at the end of the line, but there isn't. So that's the end of my rather strange online chat. Hope you've found something of interest there, and see you on the next video. Bye for now.